Situation in Cuba has reached a critical point. The regime is on its knees, and it's something the Trump administration is probably celebrating. Now President Trump might be able to do what no president has done before him. Eisenhower couldn't, Kennedy couldn't, Johnson no, Nixon no, Ford, Carter, Reagan. You get the point. This time, Trump may be on the verge of bringing down the communist Cuban government.
Well, Cuba right now is in very bad shape. They're talking to Marco, and we'll be doing something with Cuba very soon.
The bottom line is their economy doesn't work. It's a non-functional economy. The people in charge, they don't know how to fix it. So they have to get new people in charge.
With us now, Cuban-born Ambassador Alberto Fernandez, Vice President of the Middle East Media Research Institute. Ambassador, good to see you. I'm fascinated in this story about the media focus seems so much on what's happening vis-a-vis the infrastructure and the economy in Cuba, which is disintegrating before our eyes, versus this thought in the pressure campaign by the Trump administration to push the communist regime to abandon Moscow and China and move towards the United States. What should our focus be on?
Well, I've described the Cuban regime as a ramshackle provocateur. So it is both kind of collapsing in terms of infrastructure, economy, everything else. And yet at the same time, it is a pole of ideological, advancement. So it is, as you said, it's an ally of China, Russia, Iran, etc. And it inspires and has people who go to Cuba and then come back and rally for Free Palestine, Black Lives Matter, disrupt university campuses nationwide, indulge in all kinds of subversion. So it's kind of doing both. It's both collapsing and very aggressive in promoting itself.
Are we at a point, as you look at Cuba, where it is possible that to save their own skin, they realign themselves with Trump, almost a la Venezuela, but without, or I should say realign themselves with the United States, a la Venezuela, but without the need for any kind of military action?
I think it's possible. It's probably unlikely. I mean, the difference is Venezuela actually had a functioning economy, has a functioning economy. You know, it's a major oil exporter. And so even though it was poorly run and the regime was a terrible regime, it actually had something. Cuba has no private sector. It has no kind of ready. It has a lot of natural resources, but it has nothing ready to export that is supremely valuable that it can live off of. It's basically been subsidized either by Venezuela or by the Soviet Union for the last 60 years.
Yeah, and the Cuban people are the ones who are caught in the squalor of that. Interestingly enough, Congressman McGovern of Massachusetts seems to have a problem with the United States trying to squeeze Cuba and bring an end to the regime there. Take a listen.
He wants to turn Cuba into a client state where he can basically control the Cuban people and tell them what to do and what not to do. It's not about human rights. It's not about freedom. It's not about democracy. It's never been about that. With Trump, it's not about the Cuban people. It's about his own self-enrichment.
So is it in the interest of the Cuban people to keep living under communism?
Well, I think it's in the interest of the Cuban people to cease living off of communism and to be able to do things like eat and travel and have a better life. It's funny, McGovern has a notorious history. He goes way back in far left Latin American rah-rah kind of promotion. So even as a congressional staffer before he became a congressman, he was known as a guy that was close to the Cuban regime and other similar regimes.
So, funny, we have congressmen from Havana, and then we have Tucker from Tehran. What does the administration do beyond this fuel embargo, oil embargo against Cuba, against trying to isolate it, against trying to squeeze and bring about pain to the regime to get the regime to fold?
That's the million-dollar question. what they're doing now makes perfect sense, and I think any smart administration would do this. The regime is vulnerable. It's an adversary regime. It's near the United States. So let's exert pressure. Let's try to influence them and push them in the right direction. It makes perfect sense. The question is, what happens at some point where an inflection point is reached, where either the regime does what we want and kind of things continue that way, a la the Venezuelan model, or they don't. And then we have to decide, how far are we willing to go? What are we willing to expend in terms of, blood and treasure? Cuba's not Venezuela. Cuba's not Iran. Would not be a difficult situation. But if one had to undertake military action, obviously that's a whole other thing. So the question is, when we reach that point when the regime is no longer doing what we want it to do, what do we do? How valuable is it for us and important for us to do what we need to do?
I think for so many Americans, it's deeply personal. Certainly for Marco Rubio, I know for you and your family as well. Ambassador, thank you very much. We'll keep our eye on Cuba.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.